Hi, everybody. I'll do a quick plug. There are still a few places available for my talk in Brighton in 3 weeks on Saturday, the 13th of April. And if you'd like to come, please book a place by emailing me at clisstim@gmail.com. So the illusion is that you know what's going on. That you know what's happening. I think probably the only reason why most human beings think they know what's happening is because they know what's happened. And what can seem to happen is that whole facade, that whole edifice of knowing what has been collapses, and then there is no knowing what is. I don't know what this is. And yet I don't doubt that this is all there is. And I was seeking the truth. That's what I was looking for. So I was very attracted to people who told me that they knew the truth, not the illusion. They'd seen beyond. The veil had been lifted and they'd seen beyond the veil. God, that's so attractive. Yeah. That's what I want. To see the truth, to know the truth. And of course, if I know the truth, then I am the truth. I will be the truth, rather than this illusory reality. I'd know what's really real. Not what I've been told that's real, but I can see it for myself. And those messages are still incredibly popular. And it may sound sadistic that I take great pleasure in attempting to burst that bubble, whatever you fantasized that you could know would just be more empty knowledge. Whatever you fantasized that you could understand, just more empty understanding. And life is not less with less knowledge, without that perfect knowledge, without that complete understanding. Life is incomprehensible. And so people call it a mystery. It's quite common to hear this referred to as a mystery, life. And yet Mystery is a word that is shrouded in mystery. It sounds mysterious, and there is nothing more paradoxical than when everything is mysterious, is a mystery in that it's unknowable. It's far more ordinary. And there really are no mysteries if everything is a mystery. So you're the seeking for the wonderful, the extraordinary, can simply seem to die. And really the death is looking for something else when there simply isn't anything else. I'm just looking at Michael. Michael posted the other day, being the provocative bastard that he is, he posted, "This isn't it," the other day, which amused me a great deal. Which of course I can't disagree. But then I thought, well, hold on a minute. I'm often saying this is it. And he's saying this isn't it. Well, of course it isn't it. There isn't an it. And there isn't a this. And he just likes that kind of, he likes that kind of thing. And I do too. So this is it and this isn't it. And equally, neither are true. Because there is no knowing of the truth. There is no absolute truth. Now, I don't know that, but I don't doubt that it's true. I like saying shit like that. Because that amuses me no end. And life isn't as serious as you've made it. It just isn't. No one gets out of here alive. No one is even alive to get out of here alive. How fucking hilarious is that? You can't get funnier. And there's so much love in that, more than I would have ever imagined. And it's not a love that is for anyone. And yet there's so much more love for that. This Being Human is just a wonderfully tragic comedy. So beautifully tragic. All the effort for nothing. All the love for nothing. Love is for nothing. It's just outrageous. Wonderfully pointless. To no end. For no reason. For no purpose. And if that doesn't make you laugh, I'll wonder why. And then everyone's effort, all the trying, all the beautiful humanness is all the more wonderful for it being to no avail. All for naught. And it is funny that such a, what can sound like such a negative message, or such a nihilistic message, is absolutely the opposite. It's overflowing with, because everything is meaningless and pointless and empty, the love is far more wonderful and incredible, simply incredible. It's incredible that anything exists at all. It's incredible that there are relationships between human beings when there are no relationships. The relationships are more profound. They're more wonderful that there aren't any. And probably most of all, there is no love, just as there is no this. And then there's love, undeniably. And so it sounds like if you try and convey this to most other human beings, you sound insane. And they think you're crazy, which you kind of are. There we are. There we are. Well, welcome everyone. Lovely to see you all. If you want to share anything or ask anything, then just put your hand up. Who's that? Shia Aziz. Hi,
yes.
Shia.
Hi, Jim. It's nice to see you.
And you.
It was a long time ago in Denmark when I was in your meeting in Copenhagen.
Oh, lovely. Oh, yes, I remember you now. Yeah.
Jim, I would like to ask you, I hope because my English is not so good, but I try to write me. I think to ask you about, according to this message, there is no inside and there is no outside.
Mm-hmm.
And that, if you can light on that, please.
Yeah, I can try. So it seems like most human beings have the sense of being separate, and the separation of me from everything else is that it's I am inside. So what belongs to me, what I possess, what is mine, what is myself, is inside. And everything else, you and everything else, is outside. And that's not me. So there is simply me inside and not me outside. And that seems to be how most human beings experience being alive. And I don't know how or why, well, for no reason for sure, but that simply can no longer appear. And there isn't a sense of it's funny, because if you're no longer inside, you won't even notice. It's not like, so self can only envisage that if I'm inside, then I could also be outside. So I can imagine being in relationship with you. It's the great fantasy for self, is that becoming one with the other. So there's me separate inside, and then other than me is outside. But I long, the longing is to be at one with the other. And unfortunately, I don't want it. This is another bubble. I say, unfortunately, I take great pleasure in it. I'd love to burst that bubble. There are no others for you to become or to know or to commune with or be at one with. This whole, I mean, it is the romantic illusion that is that we could become one. No. You'd have to be one and the other to become one together. There is no more a together than there is a part. There are no parts. So that's what I mean by inside and outside.
But there is some originality.
Say that again, Shia.
As here in this body or whatever it is, is there some originality, original?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's that. Yeah. Well, here's the paradox. So everything is original. Yeah. There's no. So every human being is utterly unique. Really, what I'm suggesting is that there is no escape. So the whole notion of self is that I could escape this prison that I seem to be inside. So if you think of that, I don't know if you use it elsewhere in the world, but the phrase for being in prison in the UK is being inside. So, you know, I'd talk to my mate at school and I said, you know, where's your dad? And my mate would go, oh, he's inside. He's gone away. He's gone inside. And so this notion of inside is the sense of imprisonment. And the reason why I might refer to this as liberation is because it's freedom from the possibility of escape. So it isn't a freedom for the one who is imprisoned, because there's nowhere for him to go. The prison cell was always empty. Really, the absence of inside and outside is that the inside is empty and the outside is empty. And so there's no inside and outside. Just empty. This is all empty. Completely. So the completeness, when I talk about wholeness and completeness, I am referring to emptiness. And by emptiness, I mean, what are you going to say about empty? There is nothing to be said. It's empty. So I'm still surprised that I can speak about this and that I love speaking about it, because I'm speaking about nothing. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if people, you know, there's human beings who have never spoken about this, but they have this, they don't doubt the emptiness of everything. And you could say that's really all non-duality is attempting to point to. And because there is nothing to be said about emptiness at all. I still have people say, well, what do you mean by empty? And I go, I don't know. I mean empty. There's nothing in it. So all the things that look full are completely empty, and the emptiness is completely full of the seeming fullness of the things. And the thingness and the no thingness are not two. It's bullshit. That's just words attempting to talk about emptiness. But yeah, just empty is the absence of inside and outside.
And then about what's different between emptiness and nothing?
Well, they're just words that are trying to say the same thing.
Because, you know,
so they're both words that, which of course, as they're words, you have to make, the word makes them into something, but they're trying to convey not something, which how are you going to do that? Well, we've got a few words that we can use, like emptiness and like no thing and nothing. But of course, every human being who hears nothing has made it into the opposite of something. So that's something.
And then you talk about it was very beautiful. I listened to you when I have time. I mean, I listened just to this message, actually, nothing else. And you know, I did listen to you about the existence. You said very beautifully that there is not such a thing as a existence,
No.
because everything which is exists, it dies. So So there is not actually existence.
No. So I would say that there's seeming existence. So things seem to exist in time and have a continuation, because existence is something that continues
Yes, I mean, there is not.
separately. And that's not, no, that's not. But that's not,
It's,
that is how it appears, though. So it appears that there's a separate existence, but there's not, though.
it's a peer, you know.
It does
So
look that way, doesn't it? It looks like there's me and you. There you go. That's really, there's existence.
yes, but this is also is and is not. You know, this is like this.
Yeah.
Now we share this message or you talk. This is, and the same time, it's not. After some minutes, it's nothing is. It's just something new come. I
Yeah.
don't.
Well, I mean, it's worse than that, because it's really not after a few minutes.
Yeah,
Well,
I feel that.
so that when Michael said this isn't it, I mean, he's spot on, because there is no this that exists. So this isn't it. Of course it's not.
Because
There simply isn't anything else, that's all.
yeah, I mean, this is it feels sometime that all there is this whatever it is. It doesn't matter what, even if it's experiencing, it's just this. I mean, no one can do something about it
Yeah.
because there is no
No,
one to be to.
no.
What can I do?
Yeah. No,
Something about this happening.
no, nothing.
There is no way to someone can do something about it.
Mm.
So in that way, there is no one to do something or not.
No.
In that case, I mean.
And that's again why I might talk about liberation. The motivation to speak about this is it's quite wonderful that there's no one to do anything about anything.
Yes. And
But
then
it's,
I think,
go on.
yeah. And then I think to ask you about one more thing, then I don't disturb you.
Okay.
About the body, you know, mentally, I can say that all there is will die, but I think it's like the body will never die because he never born, something like that.
You're saying the body won't die because the body was never born?
Yes.
Well, I mean, in the appearance, and there's nothing else, the body will die. Yeah.
I mean, die, not in that sense, you know. I
But
mean,
it's
I
you.
mean, the
It's
body,
you. Yeah, go on. What do you mean?
the body will die, but when you see the body is that you don't. There is no response to the stimuli, but there is a million of bacteria out there will be living, you know, in that sense. I mean, and
Yeah.
then I don't know more than that. I have no other instrument than what there is. This instrument which I can mentally can describe the thing, you know.
Yeah.
And what do you say about that?
Well, it seems that it's the body that dies. It seems that it's the body that's born. It seems that it's the body that grows. It seems that it's the body that grows old and decays and atrophies, and then the body stops breathing and stops working. I mean, and really, I mean, how beautiful is that? It's just a flower blooming, and the flowers, the petals fall off, and it's just the beautiful flowering. So there's the seeming flowering, it's just a body. It's not yours, Sheer.
No, that I mentally can I say there is nothing which is mine, but it is mentally not as elaborated as you talk about it. You know, this message. I did understood this message the first time in which I heard this. You know, and that was finished everything. And actually in this my life, which I call it, you know.
Yeah.
So I went through many frustration, you know. And
Yeah. Oh,
after this message, really, I
yeah.
took medicine. And now here we are. So I don't know more about. For last week, I was in Jim Newman's meeting in London. It was amazing. Today it was last Saturday and Sunday. It was amazing, and I have no other way to. I just knock the door. That's all I can. This body anyway.
Yeah. And there's no door to be opened, Shir.
No, that also actually I cannot say more than I say that I feel and I understand. More than this, there is no other way. I know that this is not something that I should proceed or
Yeah.
I understand. Thanks.
Oh, thanks, Shir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Hi, Tim. I didn't raise my hand, but now I'm raising it. I know. What is wrong with me? Oh, well, that's just how it appeared. No, it's just so funny, but it's kind of not, you know, it just appears as it appears. And so, like, thoughts about a separate controller of that just aren't appearing, you know? And listening to the last speaker talking about the body, you know, I'm just outside of my a family friend, and she has cancer, and she you know, they say she only has a few days, if that, you know. And so, but they've also said that she can't hear and she's not really responding, and you know, they're like, she's still here though. And you know, I understand that what that means. Here it just means the body is still here, but as far as who is here and who isn't, the thoughts of this woman, um who she was, who she means to every individual that came in contact with her.
Yeah.
It's just a unique way to see, and there isn't a controlling of that, you know.
Yeah.
It I mean, I'm at the point where it's just like, I don't even know what to say anymore when I come on this meeting, but I just love it so much. But all I can say is it appears as it appears. I mean, there isn't a controlling of how anything were
No.
to appear. Like, it's just, I mean, it's just however it is. And so, you know, what's appearing, I'm going in and I'm going to say my goodbyes, and
Yeah.
there may be a goodbye and there may be another time coming back, you know, who
Yeah.
knows?
Oh, no one knows.
No, I just like talking on here because I love, I love hearing about this. I mean, you know, it's just
Thanks,
kind of
Sandra.
fun. Yeah,
Oh, good luck.
thanks.
I just realised I hadn't spotlighted you, Tim.
Oh dear, Darren, shoddy work.
I know, I've just done it halfway through.
I'll give you one job.
Ah,
I know. Okay. Fucking hell.
I know.
It's not like I overburden you with responsibility or anything.
I don't know what to say.
No. Best you say fucking nothing.
Yeah, I think so. What are you laughing about, Michael?
He's giggling away. I'll get a drink. Talk to Darren.
I don't know. It was just this outburst of laughter.
Little tickle.
There you go. I was thinking of Tim's love, the way he speaks of love, and hear that I something in here knows that we think that there's such a thing as reality, and of course there isn't. The human-centric perspective is objectified and very limited. We're confined to a tiny spectrum of what's available in life. We only see what is highly evolved, see through the mechanism that's highly evolved for survival and reproduction for the human species. And that is objectified. So we have a very flat world that we live in, that we try to escape. I see love as this compassion for the suffering of humanity, the pain that we all experience, and life is hard. And we see that in other people, the people we sense or intuit the great burden of pain they carry. And that, of course, it's all inside. I think we can't see outside of our own bubble. We are the bubble of I amness. And but somehow this love for others. I saw a young black man walking across in front of the car at the gas station and had hair. And I smiled at him. He smiled back, and as they were leaving, he was in the back seat, and he stuck his head out, and he went like this. He went like this to me, and I went like this to him, like come here. And he just went like, it was those moments when you reach the canyon between this great Grand Canyon between each other, this loneliness we all feel, this longing. Something in here knows that the others, perceived others, experience this longing too. That's what starts the seeking and seekers. We want to relieve the existential angst of imagined separation. And of course we can't, because it's imagined. Our whole life is imagined. But like Tim hints, it's so beautiful. Amazed that anything exists at all. I see humans as the only place where beauty exists in the world. No other animal stands in awe of a hummingbird or a rainbow or a new baby. A Hispanic couple were walking across the parking lot, and he had a child on the father had a child sitting. And I remember what those little hands feel like on your forehead. And I looked at the baby, and he looked at me and smiled, and I went like this to him, and the father saw me and he laughed. And as they walked this baby was watching me, and he went like this, and I went like this to him. This humanness, raw humanness. We all have the same blueprint, the same desires, the same urges. We're all the same. I think that's the love that Tim speaks about, this commonality of humanness. I don't know what's going on. I know that no one else has ever known or ever will know. And this drifting along and this sublime unknowingness is. I wrote something the other day about enlightenment, and I think it's like everybody has this idea that it's something that Well, it is a different way to see the world, a fundamentally different way to experience the world. To me, it's just a brain that has somehow shifted into overdrive. um, and no one knows what happens. I think it's a chemical alteration. David Kars went to South America and had that experience and wrote The Perfect Brilliant Stillness. It's a beautiful book. And the brain has its own DMT. The night in Las Vegas, I think my brain was flooded with some chemicals. And I woke up in the morning surprised how beautiful Las Vegas was, which I had hated before that. And nothing's changed. I love being here with, I think what Tim says, it rings bells. It's like a chorus of things I dimly remember. I thank you for that, Tim.
Thanks, Michael. Thank you.
Freddie has his hand up.
Freddie.
Hi, Tim.
Hi, Fred.
Yeah, so I mean, what Michael was just saying about the canyon between. Can you hear me okay, by the way?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Yeah, the canyon, and it got me thinking that you know, I saw a show recently with Sweeney Todd in the theater, and it was really very moving. And in regards to art, I have heard it said, and I'm not sure if you said it or not, but it was about how art is an attempt to reach and connect. And I was just thinking about when I was crying at the end of this show as to what I was really crying about.
Yeah.
And I just wonder whether it was the bravery of the actors and the magnificence of the actual show, what Stephen Sondheim wrote. But it was, I'm just wondering whether I was crying because of the futility,
No.
you know, of this attempt.
Yeah.
And the closer an artist gets to actually connecting with another person, the more profoundly tragic the attempt. You know, I don't know if that makes sense, but
well, once you were speaking about it, you've just said exactly the words I was going to say.
Huh.
I was going to say just what you just said.
Yeah, wow. The other time I remember just being overcome by the attempt, I suppose, was in Amsterdam. I saw Van Gogh's, went into his museum.
Yeah.
And God, he's got this series of blossom paintings of blossoms, right. And it's just something happened where I was just completely overcome, you know. And so that's so interesting that you.
Well, the futility. I would completely agree. That was exactly the word you were speaking. I just think, well, it's the futility. That's why that's the tears. And yet, then there's the beauty of the futile attempts. It's just so beautiful. So Michael mentioned that there's this chasm, you know, this canyon between us. Well, the thing is, there isn't anything between us, so there is no possibility of crossing. And how would you not be moved to tears by that? So there's the longing. The longing is to cross, to meet. So just to be in union, to meet, to really meet. I mean, what is the romantic desire? Is this meeting of the other, the becoming one? Well, there are no two to become one. There is nothing more tragic. There is nothing more beautiful, or the love and the beauty and that moving to tears is because of the futility, that it's not possible. The impossibility is the beauty. There really isn't any beauty. We're making up the beauty. There is no other. We've made up the other. There is no other. There is no possibility of becoming one. There are no two to become one. It's just impossible. And if that becomes undeniable, then there is this terribly tragic love, which is wonderful. Thanks, Freddie.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Michael.
That was lovely. Razia has a hand up.
Hi, Razia.
Hi, Tim.
How are
Hi,
you?
everyone. Well, I just wanted to share something. I remember I was in Michael's meeting. I think it was when he used to have the Zooms. This was like last year or the other year, I don't know. But I had this most amazing experience. I mean, what else is it, right? I can't call it anything else. Anyway, I was sitting in the meeting, and then suddenly I felt like towards the end of the meeting, I felt like, yeah, there was like a bubble inside my brain that just burst open. And then I felt the spray of, now I know it's DMT, right? But at that time, I didn't know what it was. But it was so amazing. And then I was talking to other people, and we were talking about DMT and describing how they felt and stuff like that. And obviously they were talking about DMT, that chemical, that you, I don't know whether you smoke it or how you take it. And then I realized that this had happened like naturally. I felt it. And for days I was quite happy. Like, you felt happy. It wasn't like a high, but you felt happy, And yeah. So, but drugs have always scared me. I don't know. From the time, like I was born in the 60s when there was a whole lot of talk about people overdosing and a whole lot of family problems because of drugs and stuff like that. But I know it's good for medicine. But I just think like if it occurs naturally in the body, the seeming body that we have, why not? Why don't we try and access it,
I don't know.
I don't know too. Thanks.
Thanks, Razia. Who else? Indira.
Hi, thank you for this meeting. This is my first time here, so
Hi, Indira. You're welcome.
yeah, I just wanted to make a comment. About several months ago, I had this seemingly shift.
Mhm.
It wasn't what I had expected at all. It was so simple, so ordinary. And what I realized was that and it's so hard, like you said, to talk about because words just totally cut it up, just cuts it up, or it just cuts it up.
Yeah.
The best way that I can say this is that it was just so simple and it has always been here. And that I'm listening to other people share. And yes, I had some really amazing experiences without drugs. Just really like the sense gates are much more heightened, and when I take a walk in the park, it's not like running anymore, like speed walking. It's more like, wow, like there's so much everything looks fatter. The trees look fatter. Everything just looks big, and it's like, wow, and so I've been in love, and I've been loving that, because it's like connect, even though this is always here, it's like in that hour of just observing, there are thoughts that arise, but more attention is on what I'm looking at. And so there's, thoughts arise, feelings arise, emotions arise throughout the day, all of that. I feel like I'm more human, if that makes any sense. See, that doesn't even make sense. I'm more human, right? It's
No,
just, it doesn't make any sense
no, none at all.
at all. And
Isn't that lovely?
it is. And, staring at animals, it's like staring at emptiness, all of them, every one of them. And I'm staring at something. There's something in here that's like that as well. But it's so simple and so ordinary, and that seeking energy just dropped.
Yeah.
I think as humans, we make this so harder than what it is. And there is no one doing anything. Yes, there's paying bills and all of that, but there's not this sense of responsibility. Like, it's just happening. Everything's happening. And I noticed too, like every word that comes out of this mouth, it's not going to matter in the next second. Like everything, it's like it's gone already. It's just gone, and that doesn't even make sense. But I really love what you shared, and it is very difficult to talk about. So subtle, so simple, so empty, but yet it's always here. So there's no other way to, and I'm grateful for that. I'm just
no, thank you, Indira. That was great.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
I like that. So subtle, so simple, so empty.
I'll tell you what I liked, what Indira said. Everything's so fat. Fuck, I've never heard anyone say that. It's just great. That's my phrase of the day. I've never thought of everything as fat, and yet you said it, and I thought, yeah, fuck is fat, isn't it?
It's fat.
Look how fat, look how chubby everything is. Look, everything's a bit chubby. It's just lovely. What a lovely phrase that is. Oh, I've never heard anyone say that. And there isn't much shit that has been said about this. But that, Indira, I'm suggesting is very original. I love it. Yeah, because it's the fullness. So all speakers go on and on about fullness. Well, what's fullness? It's fat. Yeah. It's like not drinking. Who wants skimmed milk on their cornflakes? Give me full fat every day of the week. We want the fatness of life. Yeah. And life is fatter without me. See, I start once I've you've got me onto the fat. I love that. It's so good.
Shia has his hand up.
Skinniness is overrated.
Go ahead, Shia.
Hello.
Hi, Shia. Do you want to say something?
Yes, I think to ask you, yes. I think to ask you about this body, which is no one's body, but yet I would like to ask you about, does the body knows that there is no you? No way.
No, of course not, because there is no knowing of no you.
So, but yet the body do what he has to do.
There's just most human beings are under the delusion that they are doing the body. And then when the body is doing itself, which of course it fucking always was, there's no change. There's nothing to be recognized. So this whole notion, I mean, this is the real bitch of this message. If you do happen to fuck off and not turn up again, there's no one there to notice.
Yeah.
You
we
will
are-
You will not be there to notice the absence of yourself. And that's what you've been waiting for. Now, there is no bigger joke than that. I mean, this is all a joke. It's quite often referred to as the cosmic joke. And so the seeker has been seeking its own absence. And of course, in its own absence, there will be no recognition. So this is the recognition of there's nothing to be recognized.
Because, because sometime it's happened that this body really do a thing, but there is no do or something like that.
I mean, that's a lovely bit of allegedly Siddhartha said that. Allegedly, and so it's a lovely Buddhist idea, there is deeds are done, but there is no doer thereof.
But you share the same message. You said there is no doer.
You could say I'm saying the same thing, but maybe the difference is the recognition. So I think most spiritual ideas are that you will recognize the absence. There will be some recognition of no doer. No, there is no doer to recognize that there is no doer.
Right. Okay, I understand.
That might sound like splitting hairs, and it's a subtle difference, but it is massive, because there is. So in that sense, there isn't. So everyone's, as a seeker, I was waiting for a revelation. Well, this is always being revealed. So when this is revealed, there is no revelation. That's the revelation.
I myself, I don't know what seeking is. I never did seek or go to meditate. I don't know even what is meditation and how people they do. But I understand that mentally it's just or some of them they say there is no mind and I'm not the body. I heard this, but this is who is that which says there is not me and there is not the body. I mean, it's for me it looks nonsense.
Well, I mean, there is a body.
And there is a body, and there is if he is not the mind or he is not the body, what the hell is, then what is he then?
You won't hear me say there isn't a body. I'll just say that it's not yours.
Yes, yeah, in this message, yes, but sometime I did just listen 2 minutes, and I know it's not this. It's just teaching. Like every teaching that how I have to drive the car, or I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Or you are in thoughtless state, and who is that which says that I'm in thoughtless state? It's the brain of the mind is very active there, I think. So
yeah. I
know that this is not the same message, but I mean, I never meditated. I don't know even what is that, how would I do. I just come out I don't know how I come to this message also, I don't know. I just come and then was just punk and this slit everything. The only one which I cannot really discard is the Yuji Krishnamurti, not G Krishnamurti, but Yuji Krishna. This is, I believe that he did share the same message, our son, I think.
Yeah.
This this two message I know, but he don't call it message. He just say we talk philosophy, and you just cut everyone like a like a bullet. They'll shot all bearers brain torch, you know.
Yeah.
And after that, I just come through this message. It was very much painful, I can say, very much painful. And but now it just left me with this, and I don't know what this is. I
Yeah.
cannot explain more than this.
No.
But what is this? Who can describe this? This is all there is. So it left me just with this, and this is whatever this is. Doesn't matter what, because that cannot be. This is up in here, like what happened. That's all.
Yeah. It can't be otherwise. Sure.
Yeah. Thanks.
Oh, thanks you. Take care.
Razia has a hand up.
Hi, Razzie.
I suppose the body, mind, emotions dilemma will always be there. Like, I mean, how can you say to someone there is no body when there is a body? You know what I mean? You're seeing a body. And even in a state of, you know, like when you, like sometimes, I don't know, like others have experienced this, but there's like a lifting out of your body. And then you realize that you are that which is out of the body, not the one that is, not the body itself, you know? So I don't know, it's more like, I think, experience that I'm not sure, but like I know I feel like I'm lifting out of my body, and then I say I am not the body, because yeah, I am here outside of it, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I mean, I just think, I mean, of course, if there's out of body experiences, I don't know this. This would just be my guess. Who must it be to have an out of body experience? Well, it'll have to be me, won't it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
when I hear lots of people love those stories of out of body experiences, near death experiences, looking down at their body, and you know.
Yeah, but I mean,
all
when it
kinds
happens
of
to you,
all kinds of supernatural things. Well, for me, of course, self will fantasize about any. It will create all escapist fantasies of a myriad of fantasy,
yeah, but I mean,
fantasy ideas.
It was also proved scientifically that people that were technically dead, the awareness was still present there. Like Raja Chaudhry talks about this incident where this man was taken into the emergency unit in the hospital.
Yeah.
And when he got there, he was technically dead. And I mean, like they had to resuscitate him, but they couldn't, you know, and things. But in that time, one of the nurses had taken out this person's false teeth. And then anyway, they did resuscitate him. And then the next day, when he was there, and he asked the nurse, when the nurse went in, I mean, the same nurse that had taken out his false teeth. When she went in, he asked her, where are those teeth, you know? And yeah, and there's many incidents like those. So I don't know, maybe that is points to something.
Well, no, they're hugely attractive. Of course, self loves those fucking stories, you know, because
I know.
I'm not the body, and I live on after the body has died. So the body dies, and then the body is resuscitated, and I was there all along. So I'm not just the body. I will fucking live forever. That's me. That's the great fantasy of self. The great fantasy of self is that I am alive, and I am not the body. I'm not the body. I am spirit, or whatever else. I am the soul. I am more than the body, because I'm me, for fuck's sake. Look how special I am. It's the pure arrogance of self that says I cannot be just the body. I can't just be an animal. What? How dare you suggest that I'm an animal? So all religions have human beings as much closer to God than, nearly all religions, much closer to God than the rest of life. You know, self sets itself up. And so I don't, the reason, there's good reason why all of those stories are so attractive is because they give evidence to the self that I am immortal.
Yes. I mean, that could be it.
For me, and I will say, so what seems to have happened here is I was interested in that shit. Every self is interested in that shit. They are. They can deny it. You know, the most scientific, they're still interested in immortality. They'll just go for cryogenics or some other shit. But the whole notion is that you could be reborn, or you could live after death of the body, because I will continue. Well, I'm suggesting not only will you not continue, that you don't fucking exist already.
Yes. Well, I agree with you on that point, but
that's it.
But that's
the point.
No, I agree that there is no existence, right, of the person as such, or the persona, or whatever. But when you experience this kind of shift, right, there's a difference.
Well, the thing
it's like something happens here that's totally like it's happening here, and then it's
no. But Razia, self loves those stories of difference. Self loves that shit, and just, you know, lives on that. I mean, that's where self lives. Self lives on all of those stories. Now, I'm not saying they're wrong. All I'm saying is they're just stories. They have no substance.
Yeah. Okay, because it happens within this so-called dream or whatever, right? So I wouldn't put that much of a, but there is something that's different, you know, from the way we are.
But Razia, the only thing that's different is the comparison with what was. Now, what was really wasn't. It's just a memory that appears now. There is this, and then self tells a story of, okay, I remember how it was, and now it's different. Well, of course it fucking was.
But that's what this guy is talking about, the one that spoke, that Shri or whatever. He wants to know that. He wants to know what is it that makes us different. You know, he is still seeking this that will give him something, you know, that will make him what you are. That's what he's looking at.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how. So all I'm saying is maybe, I mean, there must be a possibility of something that gives people this.
No.
Or maybe there's nothing there.
No.
It's just a story. Yeah.
No.
But but people will see
No.
that.
There is no possibility.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what happens after, what's going to
No,
happen.
no. I'm not talking about death. No,
Okay.
I'm talking about possibility. There is no possibility. This is not a possibility, and this is all there is. This isn't possible. It is. Now, is not a possibility. It is apparent. It is the only reality. There is no becoming. There is nothing to come. There is no beyond. There is no, there's no next. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, I would
There
accept
is
that
no
they-
next. There is no next.
For
There is no
term.
possibility.
I would accept that there's no next for term.
Well, you wouldn't,
But-
because you're just saying there
Yeah,
might
not
be a
for
possibility.
term, for
There
term.
isn't.
Because I know there's not going to be another term. You understand? Term with all the storyline will not ever be born again. Or whatever what people say, you know, like
No,
about
that-
reincarnation and things.
Well, there's no born. Well, there is only born. There's no born again. This isn't born again and again. This is.
Yeah, I
This
don't
is-
think that
This is
term-
only born.
But throughout, every sage will talk about the unborn and the deathless. And believe me, what is this unborn and what is the deathless? You know what I mean?
Well, there is. Well, if you want to talk about the unborn, well, that wouldn't be anything. You can talk about that, but
Yeah.
the unborn is.
I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but sometimes it's
No,
better.
there
Like
aren't any
if
there
someone
aren't-
like
there aren't any
Chris
answers.
asks you a question, what do you say?
The
You know?
thing is, it's
thinking.
not that there aren't any answers. It's that there really aren't any questions. There's only you're the only one who's asking any questions. I'm the only one who asks questions. Life isn't questioning itself.
Yeah, I know.
This is unquestionably as it is.
Yes. But I mean, there are people that are going to question it.
Oh no.
Like he is questioning it, you know? And obviously that's where it starts. Seeking starts with questioning. I think so. Thanks. I don't say anymore.
Thanks, Razia.
I love you too. Thank you.
Thanks. Take care. Right, thanks everybody. Lovely. I've just realized I'm very hungry. My stomach's growling. So lovely to see everyone. I've enjoyed myself, and really that's all that matters. So
Thank you, Tim.
why do you do this, Tim? Oh, it's just gratuitous, just gratuitous enjoyment. No, lovely to see you all. Pleasure.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you,
Bye.
Tim.
Hi, take care.
Lovely meeting.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
Sam.
Kate.
Let me stop the recording.